Okay, so in this video, I'm going to share with you literally the one thing that makes me happier than most people I see. And this is even an arrogant thing. The bar is pretty low. Most people do not really enjoy their lives. Most people aren't that happy. Most people don't have like this zest for life, this like oomph for life, this energy that kind of emanates them. And it's just this one thing, presence maxing. Most people live their lives basically with this one phrase: I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when when I get a house, when I get that job, when I'm able to travel the world, when I hit a certain amount of money in my business. Whatever the case may be, it's this overall attitude to life of I'll be happy when. What I'm going to share with you is how to be happy now. And then you can still go off and do all the rest. You can still run the business. You can still, create an amazing social life. You can still travel the world. You can still do hobbies. You can still, live a passionate life. In fact, all of those things are amazing things to do. These are not mutually exclusive, right? However, you'll basically just skip on the middleman. And that's why it's so cool. Most people really do believe they need a certain life situation to be happy. And there is some truth to that, right? I would not be happy if I was in a war zone. I would not be happy if I was being tortured. I would not be happy if I was, in extreme poverty and I was starving all day long. So there is truth to your environment, your situation is important to produce happiness. However, most of us are not in extremely bad circumstances, right? You're not in a situation where you're in a war, hopefully. And if you are, I'm sorry, but you're probably not. Let's just be honest. If you're watching this, you're not in a war zone. You're probably not being tortured right now. You're probably not enslaved or imprisoned. You're probably not in extreme agony or with a serious health problem. You probably don't have, terminal cancer. You probably don't have these extremely difficult things to deal with, extreme pain, extreme suffering. You're probably not in that situation. In fact, what's most likely is you're living in 2026 in a developed country with family and friends that love you, with so many opportunities, so much freedom, so much choice, so much luxury. However, you're still not happy and you still don't feel like you have this zest, this oomph for life. If that's you, then this video is going to be perfect for you. If you're in the other real intense pain and suffering situations, then I don't claim to have the answer for that. In fact, what I would suggest is make sure you don't end up in those situations. Make sure and if you're in those situations, try to get out of them as fast as possible. You're not going to be able to be happy in those situations. I just don't think that's possible. But again, you're not in that situation. You're just living a normal life, but you might not be as happy and fulfilled and excited and have this zest for life that you really want to have. It ultimately comes down to, do you feel like you're living your life? There's my YouTube banner is live your damn life, and presence maxing allows you to do that. So let's get into it. The present moment, if you're not aware, is this moment right now, the moment we're in. Present maxing is all about being in this moment as fully as possible. Really just engaging with this moment, this present moment, as much as you can, being fully immersed in this moment and taking it in as much as you can. And then from that place, following your intuition and basically taking actions, doing things that your intuition is telling you to do, following your passion, following the things that you just enjoy, following your joy in this moment. That is presence maxing. Now, the reason this allows you to enjoy your life now and not need to have this future situation, this future goal, or, whether it's making a certain amount of money or traveling the world or whatever it is to be happy, is because those things will happen now, right? Because the now is all there ever is. The future is a thought in the now. The past is a thought, a memory in the now. And don't just believe me, like, just observe. You're in the moment right now, the present moment, the now. This moment. Think about the past. Like, what did you do yesterday? Notice that's a thought in the now. Now think about the future. Think about a goal that you really want. Notice that's a thought right now. You noticing that? It's all right now. There has never been a situation where you've been in the future. There's never been a situation where you've been in the past. You are always in the now. If this is the first time you're hearing about this, it can be pretty trippy. It can blow your mind a little bit. And in some situations, you can be very resistant to this. I remember the first time I was reading, there's a book literally called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Some of you might be aware of this, you might not be, I'm not sure. All it talks about is the now. And if you go and read that, I would highly recommend reading that book. I think it's chapter 2 or chapter 3. It's called Entering the Now. I read that chapter and listened to it over and over and over again, because that chapter specifically is the main chapter that really brought me into the now. It was almost like an active meditation. It was like a reading meditation, bringing me more and more into the now. But it's not that hard. You don't need to really like do anything crazy to be more fully in the now and to basically gain happiness in the now. All you really need to do is just immerse yourself in your senses and then just follow your intuition as to what you enjoy doing. That's really all it takes. Like, notice right now that you can feel, you can hear, you can see, you can taste, you can smell. Most of the time, we're kind of disassociated, right? Even when we eat a meal, we're not fully taking in the flavor and the taste of it. You know, I rush through a meal, I eat really fast and I don't even take it in a lot of the time. Or, you know, when you're walking and it's sunny, maybe you're out in nature with some friends, you're not really taking in how it feels to have the sun on your face, right? Or when you're, you know, just at work and maybe you've got some music on, you're not really taking in the music. Sometimes you can't really, but the main thing I'm trying to get at is the only thing you really need to do to be happy now is just to start to immerse yourself in your senses more. Just start to really just try to like, the best way I can explain this is, imagine if you had a friend and you're really into video games, right? You play video games, maybe you played Call of Duty, you know, Battlefield, FIFA, you know, Assassin's Creed. Maybe you've got, maybe some even more better ones would be like open world games. You've got like The Witcher, Skyrim, you know, all of those type of games, right? They're impressive, right? They're super detailed. They're really impressive. But imagine if your friend came, I've got a game that's 1,000 times more realistic and impressive than the games you've been playing. You'd be like, it's too good to be true. And he's like, I'll bring it round. And it's like a VR headset. It's a super, like, developed VR headset, the best of its kind. He comes round, you put it on, you close your eyes. Imagine doing it right now. And then you open up your eyes. And this is what you see. Imagine this is what you see. Just this moment. Nothing else other than this moment that you're in right now. That me and you are in right now. Imagine you put on the VR headset, you open your eyes, and you're in this moment. In the game. You would be mind blown. You feel, you can smell, you can hear, you can see. It feels so real. It's so detailed. You look around, you're like, what? It's 3D. How? You just be like, how the fuck is this possible? How the fuck? That'd be on your mind. Just be repeating it. How the fuck is this possible? Oh my God, this is insane. Oh my God. Right? That's what you'd be saying to yourself. What you need to realize is you're in that right now. The video game of life, right? And I'm not saying you're in a simulation. I'm saying that reality, this moment, life, is basically that video game analogy. You are already in an extremely detailed and immersive experience. You have your senses. Everything is extremely detailed and you can explore, and there's so much to do. And it's so real. Right? And for a second, what I want you to recognize is like this moment, just this moment, this, maybe you're sat in a room, you're watching this on your phone, there's nothing crazy going on, right? From our normal perspective, there's nothing crazy going on. What I want you to recognize is this is crazy. This is mind-blowing. Your mind should be blown. Maybe this might be the first time in your life where you finally look around and you're like, what is this? How is this possible? That should be one of the main questions going through your mind on a daily basis. How is this possible? How the fuck is this possible? How? Right? How is this possible? And from that basic recognition of basically the miracle of life, the miracle of just this moment, nothing else going on, no goals that you achieve, no crazy lifestyle, just this moment is a miracle. Not some cliche miracle, like the legit real miracle of existence. Just for a moment, recognize it. Right? Now you're kind of more immersed in this moment, right? You're now getting what I'm trying to get at. You start to recognize that this moment itself is a literal miracle. And I'm not even religious. I'm not even saying it's like a miracle from God. Just a miracle. Like, how is this possible? And try not to explain it away. Oh, it's this and this, it's atoms. All right, well, all of the explanations that you can come up with. How is that possible? Right? Like, this moment is insane. And so when you come from that kind of mindset, that perspective, then you want to start to, and you don't always have to be in this mindset. You don't always have to be mind blown. I'm not always mind blown, but on a daily basis, I can connect to it. But then you start to just immerse yourself more in this moment. And then what you do is you start to just basically do things you enjoy, right? No one's doing things they enjoy anymore. No one's doing hobbies. No one's really like just living a life full of hobbies. And if they are, they're a very small minority. And if they are, it's probably like a very small part of their life. They probably work a job they hate. They do a lot of things they don't enjoy. And maybe they have like an hour a week or, you know, a couple of hours a week where they go play football or they go play basketball. Or in my case, I go play table tennis, right? It's like a very small amount of time where you're actually doing things you enjoy in the moment. You're doing hobbies. You're doing your passions. But that is part of presence maxing. You get present to this moment, you immerse yourself in this experience, and then you just decide, I'm just going to keep doing more and more things I enjoy. And that is literally the easiest way to enjoy my life more, is just to do things I enjoy more and to fully immerse myself in them, to be as present as I can be, to be in the moment as much as I can while doing things I enjoy. That's the key. That's what I was saying at the beginning of the video. That's why I'm happier than most people that I see walking around. That's why I enjoy, I've got a zest for life. Not because I'm doing anything crazy. Not because, you know, I meditated for thousands of hours and achieved this enlightenment state, even though that might be a viable option. It's just because I recognized that this moment is a miracle. I started to immerse myself more in this moment, and I just decided to do things I enjoy in this moment and be present to that. Right? I record these videos. I play music. You know, I play guitar, I make music. I play table tennis. I play pool with my friends. What else do I do that I really enjoy? We play cards, you know, and I socialize with my friends. I have interesting conversations, right? I study these type of topics that I enjoy. I go out into nature. I go on hikes, right? With my friends. I make jokes now. I'm silly. I'm an idiot, right? I act like an idiot. I act like a kid. I do things I enjoy. And as a result, guess what? I enjoy my life more. Added onto the fact that I'm now not stuck in my head thinking about the future all the time, always needing to get to a specific goal to feel good. And I'm not in my head thinking about the past, and I'm not thinking about myself as much either. I'm not as self-centered as I used to be. I'm not, ruminating on myself and my goals and my problems. I'm just more and more in this moment, more immersed in the video game of life, enjoying the video game of life, doing things that I enjoy, right? In the video game, like, here's one level. You just immerse yourself, you're more present to the moment, right? But in the video game, you don't just walk around just being present, right? In the video game, you go do fun things, right? You go, in GTA, you go get a car, you drive around, you kill people, That's in the video game, right? Maybe you do the games that are in GTA, or you drive up and you do crazy things where you jump off, like, I don't know, mountains and things, right? Well, what's a more conscious and more, positive way you can do that in life, right? In other video games, you go fight the monsters, right? Well, what's that version in this life that you can do? What's the things that scare you, right? That will actually give you a bit of adrenaline, that will kind of wake you up, that will make you feel like you're living. Go do that as well, alongside the things that you really enjoy. And often the things that scare you, you will actually really enjoy as well once you get past that fear. But the only way you're going to get past that fear is not projecting into the future thinking one day I'll be good enough, or one day I'll be confident enough, or one day I won't have the fear and then I'll finally do the thing that scares me. No. Present max. Be in this moment, immerse yourself. If you feel anxious, okay, feel it. Do the thing anyway. Face the fear. Immerse yourself in that and notice how the moment shifts, it changes. You stop feeling anxious, you start feeling in the zone, you get locked in. And then you're in the flow state. You're enjoying your life. You're on your edge. You feel like there's a sense of adventure, a zest and oomph of life. That's how you do it. You presence max. Right? So my question to you is, what is one thing you can do right now to presence max? What's one thing you can do to presence max? It should be pretty obvious after this video. Just immerse yourself in your senses and then go do something in the moment that you really enjoy and try to immerse yourself even more, right? Key words here: immersion, engagement, right? Just engage yourself in the moment and develop this oomph, this zest for life. Okay, that's enough for this video. I'll see you soon. I'll see you in the now. Peace.